Confidence is not a gift you are born with, it is a skill that anyone can learn, because the people who today stand on stage and speak without fear once doubted themselves too. They built confidence through practice, trained themselves with small wins, treated every failure not as an end but as a lesson. They did not wait for fear to disappear but took action despite it. Confidence does not mean being perfect. It means believing in yourself even while being imperfect. When you step outside your comfort zone every day, your mind also learns to say, I can do this. And remember, any skill that can be learned through practice is never out of your reach. Confidence is one of those skills you can start building today, right now, in this very moment. Fire. Confidence is not something you are born with, it is something you build through repeated action, consistent effort, and conscious decisions. Every confident person you admire once stood exactly where you are now, full of doubt and hesitation, wondering if they were enough. Confidence grows when you stop waiting for permission, when you stop needing validation, and when you decide that progress matters more than perfection. The moment you take responsibility for your actions, your mindset begins to shift, and that shift slowly rewires how you see yourself. Most people believe confidence comes first and action comes later, but in reality action always comes first. Confidence is created after you show up, after you speak even when your voice shakes, after you try even when you fear failure. Every small action sends a message to your brain that you are capable, and the brain learns through evidence, not motivation. Each attempt strengthens your self-belief layer by layer. Confidence is built in uncomfortable moments, not comfortable ones. It grows when you choose growth over ease, when you step into rooms that intimidate you, when you raise your hand even though you feel unqualified. Discomfort is not a sign of weakness, it is proof that you are expanding, and every expansion increases your mental strength and emotional resilience. You do not become confident by avoiding mistakes, you become confident by surviving them. Every mistake teaches you that failure is not fatal, every setback proves that you can recover. Resilience becomes confidence when you stop identifying with outcomes and start identifying with effort, knowing that as long as you keep moving forward, you are winning. Confidence is not loud, it is calm, it is the quiet belief that you will figure things out, even if you do not have all the answers yet. It is trusting your ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow. Real confidence does not need attention, approval, or applause, it is rooted in self-trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence increases. Discipline builds self-respect, and self-respect fuels confidence. When you do what you say you will do, even in small things, you teach your mind that you are reliable, and reliability is the foundation of belief. Confidence fades when you constantly compare yourself to others. Comparison steals your progress and replaces it with insecurity. Your journey is unique, your pace is valid, and your growth is real. When you focus on becoming better than your past self, confidence naturally follows. Fear does not disappear when you become confident, it simply loses control over your decisions. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it is the refusal to let fear decide your actions. Brave people feel fear deeply, they just choose to move anyway. Your posture, your breathing, and your presence influence your confidence more than you realize. Standing tall, making eye contact, and speaking clearly send signals of strength to your brain. Your body can train your mind just as much as your mind trains your body. Confidence is strengthened through preparation. The more effort you put into learning and practice, the less power doubt holds over you. Preparation turns uncertainty into clarity, and clarity reduces fear. When you know you have done the work, confidence becomes natural. Overthinking destroys confidence by keeping you trapped in imagined outcomes. Action breaks that cycle. Clarity comes from doing, not thinking endlessly. When you move forward, even imperfectly, your mind stops fighting and starts adapting. Confidence grows when you accept your flaws instead of hiding them. Authenticity builds inner strength. Pretending drains energy. When you stop trying to be perfect and start being real, confidence becomes sustainable. Failure is not proof that you are incapable, it is proof that you are trying. Those who succeed are not those who never fail, but those who refuse to stop after failing. Confidence is earned through persistence, not luck. Confidence improves when you learn to receive feedback without taking it personally. Feedback is information, not identity. Growth-minded people use feedback as a tool, not a weapon against themselves. You become confident when you stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness comes from experience, and experience comes from starting. Every expert was once a beginner who decided to begin anyway. Confidence is shaped by daily habits. What you do every day matters more than what you do occasionally. Consistent effort compounds into self-belief over time, just like training builds muscle. When you face what scares you repeatedly, fear loses its intensity, repetition turns anxiety into familiarity, and familiarity creates confidence. What once felt impossible eventually feels normal. Confidence increases when you set boundaries and respect your own time. Saying no when necessary builds self-worth, and self-worth strengthens confidence from the inside out. Real confidence does not require proving yourself to others, it comes from knowing who you are and where you are going. External validation becomes irrelevant when internal alignment is strong. Confidence is built by focusing on progress instead of results. Results come later, progress happens daily, celebrating small wins reinforces belief and keeps momentum alive. Self-talk shapes confidence more than talent ever will. How you speak to yourself determines how you show up in the world. Supportive self-talk builds courage, harsh self-talk destroys it. Confidence grows when you choose learning over ego. Admitting you do not know something opens the door to improvement, and improvement strengthens belief in your ability to grow. When you stop avoiding challenges, you stop feeding insecurity. Challenges expose weaknesses, but they also reveal strength you did not know you had, and discovering that strength builds confidence. Confidence thrives in consistency, not intensity. Small daily actions outperform rare bursts of motivation. Showing up regularly teaches your mind that growth is dependable. The strongest confidence comes from knowing you can handle discomfort, not from avoiding it. Adaptability creates inner security, and inner security fuels confidence. Confidence is built when you stop outsourcing your worth to opinions. Opinions change, but values remain. Living by your values stabilizes self-belief. Confidence develops when you take ownership of your life. Blaming circumstances weakens belief, responsibility strengthens it, control begins where excuses end. Every courageous decision adds weight to your confidence. Courage compounds just like fear does. The difference is choice, you choose which one to feed. Confidence grows when you stop replaying past mistakes and start using them as data. Reflection builds wisdom, and wisdom reinforces trust in yourself. When you learn to stay calm under pressure, confidence becomes visible. Emotional control signals strength to both your mind and others. Confidence is reinforced when you focus on contribution instead of perfection. Serving a purpose larger than ego reduces fear and increases certainty. The more you practice speaking up, the easier it becomes. Confidence in communication is trained, not inherited. Repetition rewires hesitation. Confidence is built by keeping momentum during low motivation. Discipline during hard days creates belief during good days. You gain confidence by trusting the process even when results are delayed. Patience protects belief, consistency rewards it. Confidence strengthens when you forgive yourself quickly. Self-compassion keeps you moving forward instead of stuck in shame. True confidence is flexible, it adapts to change instead of resisting it. Adaptability is a powerful form of self-trust. Confidence grows when you align actions with identity. When you act like the person you want to become, belief follows behavior. In the end, confidence is simply proof of experience. Every attempt adds evidence, every challenge adds strength, and every step forward confirms one truth: confidence is not who you are, it is what you build. Confidence grows when you stop seeing rejection as a reflection of your worth and start seeing it as redirection. Every rejection teaches you clarity, resilience, and emotional strength. People with confidence understand that not everything is meant for them, and that understanding frees them from desperation and self-doubt. When you train yourself to stay consistent even when nobody is watching, confidence becomes internal. Discipline in private builds belief in public. The work you do silently becomes the reason you stand firmly later. Confidence earned this way cannot be shaken by opinions. Confidence increases when you detach your identity from outcomes. Winning feels good, losing feels painful, but neither defines you. When you see yourself as someone who shows up regardless of results, your self-belief becomes stable and unbreakable. The ability to remain confident during uncertainty is a powerful skill. Life rarely gives guarantees. Confident people move forward anyway. They trust their ability to adapt, adjust, and recover, knowing that flexibility is more valuable than certainty. Confidence grows when you stop avoiding responsibility for your growth. Waiting to be saved weakens belief. Taking ownership strengthens it. Every decision you make for yourself reinforces your sense of control and inner authority. When you learn to pause instead of panic, confidence becomes visible. Emotional regulation is strength. Reacting calmly under pressure sends a message to your mind that you are capable of handling complexity and challenge. Confidence expands when you invest in skills. Skills create competence. Competence creates belief, and belief creates confidence. Growth becomes inevitable when learning is continuous and intentional. Confidence deepens when you learn to trust your judgment. Listening to advice without surrendering decision-making builds independence. Confident individuals gather input but choose their own direction. Confidence is built when you stop shrinking to fit expectations. Authenticity replaces approval-seeking, and self-expression strengthens identity. The more honest you are with yourself, the less validation you need. Confidence grows when you train patience. Not everything responds immediately. Delayed results test belief. but those who stay committed during slow progress develop unshakable inner confidence. Confidence strengthens when you treat setbacks as temporary, labeling struggles as permanent weakens belief. Reframing them as phases restores momentum and mental stability. Confidence improves when you protect your mental environment. What you consume daily shapes belief systems. Reducing negativity creates space for courage and clarity. Confidence is reinforced when you take action before motivation arrives. Motivation follows movement, waiting kills progress, starting builds belief. Confidence grows when you stop explaining yourself to everyone. Boundaries create strength, silence builds authority. Not every action requires justification. Confidence ultimately becomes a lifestyle shaped by choices, habits, and mindset, built daily through action, reinforced through resilience, and sustained through self-trust. Confidence grows when you stop asking yourself if people will like you and start asking if you respect yourself. Self-respect becomes the anchor that keeps your belief steady even when opinions shift. When your actions align with your values, confidence becomes automatic rather than forced. Confidence strengthens when you allow yourself to be a beginner without shame. Beginners learn faster because they are open, and openness creates progress. Progress builds competence, and competence naturally turns into confidence. Confidence develops when you stop romanticizing comfort. Comfort keeps you safe but small. Growth requires friction, and friction shapes strength. Every uncomfortable experience adds depth to your character and belief. Confidence is built when you stop replaying embarrassing moments in your head. Most people are too focused on themselves to judge you. Letting go of imagined judgment frees mental energy and restores self-assurance. Confidence increases when you follow through even when motivation fades. Consistency trains your identity, and identity shapes belief. Showing up repeatedly convinces your mind that you are dependable. Confidence grows when you stop waiting for external approval to move forward. Permission is a myth. Self-direction creates momentum, and momentum fuels belief. Confidence expands when you learn to sit with uncertainty without escaping it. Uncertainty is not danger, it is opportunity, and learning to stay calm within it builds emotional strength. Confidence deepens when you forgive past versions of yourself. Holding guilt weakens belief. Self-forgiveness restores momentum, and momentum rebuilds trust. Confidence is reinforced when you speak clearly instead of perfectly. Clarity beats perfection, authenticity beats performance, and realness creates connection and inner security. Confidence improves when you reduce self-criticism and increase self-awareness. Awareness guides growth, criticism freezes it. Confident people observe themselves without self-attack. Confidence grows when you stop over-preparing to avoid failure. Preparation is useful, avoidance is not. Action completes learning and strengthens belief. Confidence expands when you develop tolerance for awkwardness. Awkward moments are temporary, avoidance makes them permanent. Facing them trains emotional resilience. Confidence strengthens when you choose courage repeatedly. Courage is not a personality trait, it is a habit, and habits define identity. Confidence is built when you stop labeling fear as weakness. Fear is feedback. Listening without obeying it builds wisdom and control. Confidence increases when you stop trying to control outcomes and focus on effort. Effort is always within reach, and ownership builds belief. Confidence grows when you protect your energy from constant comparison. Comparison distorts reality, focus restores balance and clarity. Confidence deepens when you keep promises even when nobody notices. Integrity strengthens self-image, and self-image fuels confidence. Confidence is reinforced when you practice speaking your thoughts out loud. Articulation sharpens thinking, and clear thinking builds belief. Confidence expands when you take responsibility for your reactions. Not everything is controllable, but your response always is. Confidence strengthens when you stop seeking certainty before starting. Certainty comes after experience, not before. Confidence grows when you normalize failure as feedback. Feedback accelerates learning, and learning builds competence. Confidence increases when you accept that growth feels uncomfortable. Discomfort signals expansion, not danger. Confidence develops when you stop apologizing for existing. Presence does not require justification. Confidence strengthens when you invest time in reflection. Reflection converts experience into wisdom. Confidence grows when you reduce noise and increase focus. Focus builds mastery. Mastery builds belief. Confidence improves when you commit to progress over image. Image fades, progress compounds. Confidence expands when you train consistency rather than intensity. Reliability beats bursts of effort. Confidence deepens when you accept that not everyone will understand you. Misunderstanding does not equal failure. Confidence strengthens when you practice calm breathing during stress. Regulating the body stabilizes the mind. Confidence grows when you allow silence without filling it nervously. Silence signals inner steadiness. Confidence increases when you act in alignment even when it costs comfort. Alignment builds inner authority. Confidence develops when you stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Imagination should serve creation, not fear. Confidence strengthens when you learn to listen without defending. Security allows curiosity. Confidence grows when you stop chasing confidence itself and focus on action. Confidence follows behavior. Confidence expands when you respect your limits instead of resenting them. Sustainable growth protects belief. Confidence deepens when you practice gratitude for progress. Appreciation reinforces momentum. Confidence strengthens when you reduce impulsive reactions. Patience signals self-control. Confidence grows when you learn to recover quickly after setbacks. Speed of recovery defines resilience. Confidence improves when you separate identity from performance. Performance fluctuates, identity remains. Confidence expands when you choose long-term growth over short-term comfort. Confidence deepens when you trust your ability to learn anything. Learning potential beats current skill. Confidence strengthens when you stop explaining your dreams to skeptics. Energy grows in silence. Confidence grows when you realize you do not need to be fearless, you just need to be consistent. Confidence improves when you act like the person you are becoming. Behavior shapes belief. Confidence expands when you commit fully instead of half-trying. Commitment clarifies direction. Confidence deepens when you stop measuring yourself by speed and start measuring by direction. Confidence strengthens when you understand that confidence itself is proof of effort, not perfection. Confidence grows when you realize every step forward counts. Even slow progress rewires belief. Confidence ultimately becomes a byproduct of living honestly, acting intentionally, and trusting yourself repeatedly. Over time, belief stops being something you chase and becomes something you carry.